Change is a certainty in life. When I came back to Cannon Valley after being off at college classes since January, I kept getting told, "You got taller." Of course, I had no idea that I had grown, but to everyone else, I had. Since we are too busy living our lives and focusing on what's in front of us, we need someone else to bring to attention how we have changed. Thinking back, it's hard to see how we've grown, but we're definitely not the same freshmen that have walked through those doors 4 years ago. Physically and hopefully mentally, we've changed. We are more confident and reassured of ourselves, and that will be necessary in the years to come. We are all about to go our separate ways. We are going to make decisions that will have a huge impact on who we become and how. While on the way, we should always keep in mind that the values our parents and teachers have instilled in us will support us like a bridge. That, and it's necessary to remember that God is always in control. He tells us so in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." In the 7th grade, I had a class where we learned the 7 habits of highly effective people. Now, this wasn't one of the actual habits, but it stuck in my head. Garbage in equals garbage out. In other words, if you are surrounded by bad things, then bad things are going to come out of you, vice versa. This, in turn, made me think of the parable of the sower. In the parable, the seeds fall on the road, among rocks, among weeds, and finally in good soil, where the seed flourished and grew. Where we plant ourselves affects who we become. Our parents planted us here at Cannon Valley because they recognize good soil when they see it. And we have all flourished and grown, but now the pot has gotten too small. Now we have the choice of where to plant ourselves. While we are out there making our choices, I hope we will remember and consider this year's verse. "Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Romans 12, verse 2. I took this to mean that we shouldn't let what the world says is good determine what we do. The law that God has imprinted on our hearts and the grace that has been given to us through Christ should be what leads us in the decisions to come. Now that we've all thought about the future for a little bit, let's relish the present. We only graduate from high school once, so we've got to enjoy it while we can. God's blessings, and thank you for the memories.